Did you know that Americans on average eat and drink about 66 pounds of added sugar every year? This is a 4-pound bag of sugar. That would be 16 and a half of these. Does that seem like a lot? The good news is it's less than what we used to consume a few years ago. The problem is there are a lot of sugars that are hidden in foods and drinks. And to help you find some of the hidden sugars in common beverages, we're going to play a little game today with Rethink Your Drink. So behind me I have a board that has packets of sugar, and you can look at however it's easier for you to picture, packets or teaspoons. We're going to say they're about the same. And I have drinks that are going to match up with each of these amounts. So the drinks I have on the table, a 20-ounce bottle of vitamin water, a 16-ounce can of Rockstar energy drink, a smaller bottle, 13.7 ounces of iced coffee. This is a 20-ounce bottle of Lipton tea, a larger quart-size bottle that's 32 ounces of Gatorade. This is a 20-ounce bottle of Coca-Cola. And that's an empty cup, but that represents our 32-ounce serving of McDonald's sweet tea. And we're going to look at the full container for each of these drinks. We're not looking at just a serving, but we're going to look at how much sugar is in the whole bottle, can, or cup of each of these drinks. So where do you think you're going to find the most amount of sugar? Which of these drinks is the most sugary? Sometimes people pick one of these, and those are good guesses. But did anybody pick the Coca-Cola? That's it. The Coke has the most amount of sugar of all the drinks on the table. And if I look at the label, it tells me that there are 65 grams of sugars in here. Can you picture what 65 grams of sugar looks like? I can't. So to give you a way to picture that a little bit better, you can divide the number of grams by the number 4, and that will give you about the number of teaspoons that you find in there. So 65 grams divided by 4 will give you about 16 and a quarter teaspoons of sugar in this bottle. And to show you a little differently, I put 16 and a quarter teaspoons of sugar in this empty Coke bottle. So you can see if you were actually going to dissolve sugar in the drink, that's how much you would put in there. It's quite a bit. So I'm going to put that Coke in the number 1 spot and let you work on what should be number 2. Did anybody guess the Rockstar? That's it. Now when I look at the label on this one, it tells me that there are 31 grams of sugar in here. That's a big jump, isn't it? Did we go from 65 down to 31? Well, there's a little trick here, because it tells us also that there are 2 servings in this container. So 31 grams only gives you that much. We're talking about the whole container, so that's going to give you 62 grams. So 62 grams of sugar in the whole can gives you 15 and a half teaspoons of sugar, and that puts us in our number 2 spot, and reminds you to take a look at that serving size. How about number 3? What comes after the Coke and the energy drink? It's actually the Gatorade. So now that you're pros at looking at the serving size, we're going to go back over here and see that this 32-ounce bottle tells us that there are about 2.5 servings in this container. Not exactly, but serving size is 12 ounces, and so this is a 32-ounce container. So you have to do a little bit more math on this one to figure it all out. I did that for you. It actually contains a total of 56 grams of sugar in this bottle, and that will be about 14 teaspoons. But sometimes it's not easy. That gives you an idea that you have to think about it. And if you do consume the entire bottle, you need to know what you're actually getting in that. So So that's your number 3. This is what we have left. What has the fourth amount of sugar, fourth most amount of sugar on the table? Anybody pick the iced coffee? That's it. Even though that's a small container, this tells us that the serving size is the whole bottle, so that makes it a little bit easier to figure out how much you're getting. The total sugars in here is 41 grams. So 41 divided by 4 would be 10 1/4 teaspoons. So that would be down from the 14 in the Gatorade down to 10 1/4 there. So you see we're getting down lower, but that's still quite a bit of sugar, isn't it? So the next spot is actually going to be this one, our McDonald's sweet tea. That surprises a lot of people because they think it's got a lot more sugar in it, but McDonald's did change their formulation a few years ago, and now the serving would have about 38 grams of sugar in it, which still is 9 1/2 teaspoons. So you can picture yourself putting teaspoon after teaspoon in here, and that does amount to quite a bit. So that is going to be in that spot there. Now the last two. Sweet tea and vitamin water. Oh, it's going to go like this. So these are really close together, actually. The tea has 32 grams of sugar. This one has 31 grams of sugar, and that is for the whole container. So that would be 8 teaspoons of sugar there, and 7 3/4 teaspoons in there. Now, if you look at it, you go from 16 1/2 teaspoons of sugar at this end down to a little less than 8 on that end, and it seems like that's the healthier option. But we have to be careful because that's still putting almost 8 packets of sugar in that bottle right there. The American Heart Association tells us that we should have no more than 9 teaspoons of added sugars a day for men and no more than 6 for women and for children. And you can see all of these drinks on the table actually have more than that. So it's good to rethink. It's good to know where your sugar is coming from. It's good to know what some of your alternatives are. And you can check out LiveWell Frederick to see a little bit more about knowing how to know what your numbers are for what's in your food and your drink, and also some of your alternatives as well. Hope this helps.